Hi guys, so I'm going to do a really quick video on 3 books that I've read within the past 2 weeks. And the one book, I don't know if I did a review on or not, but if I did, I'm sorry, and I hope you're not mad at me if I forgot, because I'm just trying to figure out how many videos I should do before I go back to school, and I just want to do this quick little video. So I read 3 books, and the 2 books that I'm going to show you are 2 books that have similar theme sort of to them. So this one is by Julianne Lee, and it's Julianne Lee, and it's Her Mother's Daughter, and it's a novel about Queen Mary Tudor. It's not really like a biography or anything. It's an historical fiction, and it's by you can find it on www.penguin.com. And I got this at a book sale, and it was, I don't know how much it was, but if you got it for regular price, it was $15. And I liked it because I like reading like historical kind of fictions about like royalty and stuff, just to see if it's sort of like what would happen maybe back in the day, but it's written in like real time, like present time talk, so it's not like back in the day when Queen Mary or Mary Tudor was growing up and stuff. But this is what it looks like, and it's not a really big book to read. It's a paperback, and there is 20 chapters, I think, and an epilogue. So 21 chapters, and it's 321 pages, and this is how thin the book is. And it literally took me like a week to read this book, and once I started reading it, I couldn't put it down. I mean, it was really, really simple to follow along with it, and it's really awesome. And this is what it looks like. Sorry if you can't really see it, but this is what it looks like. And it was really a nice book to read because it wasn't that long, and it didn't take that long to read. The chapters were really short, and maybe like 10 pages per chapter maybe, and I liked it. It's about Henry VIII's daughter that he had, and how she became Queen of England, I think. Yeah, Queen of England. So the next book I'm going to show you is a book with a similar sort of title, but it doesn't have anything to do with the book I just showed you. It's The Kingmaker's Daughter. It's by Philippa Gregory. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing these names wrong. And this is a sort of like, it's she wrote a book before. It's called The Other Anne Boleyn Girl. I never read the book, and there's a sequel to this book at the end. It's like an excerpt at the end of this book, and it's, I don't know if it's like French or England, king, queen, whatever, because it goes back and forth. But the one thing about this book, and I'll show you in a minute, is that it's really long, and it's, I think it's 400 and some plus pages, and it doesn't go by chapters. It goes by settings. Like, it'll go like this blah 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 palace in 1478, and so the chapters, if you want to call them chapters, or some of them are really short, but it takes forever because some of these are in, like, there's a break in between, and it changes to different characters' perspective. The one thing I really hate about this book is that when they have kids and one of their kids dies or something, and towards the end, a lot of people die in that book. I'm not going to tell you who, but a lot of people died. It's like, it just gets really boring because they get knocked up and then they lose a kid, or the kid dies later on in life. And it's really, really sort of like a depressing sort of book. But there's a lot of characters in this book, so I wouldn't recommend this for somebody who doesn't like historical sort of fictions, if you can call it that. It doesn't say on the back that it's historical fiction, just as fiction. And this is what it looks like. I really like I got this at the same book sale. I got this one and the book that I just showed you guys at a book sale in my hometown. Not the one that I did a haul on, but a different one that was in the middle of summer. And this is what it looks like. I really like what I do, like I said, when I go to book sales and stuff, is if I'm not looking for a specific type of book or anything, what I'll do is I'll just look at book covers or book titles to see if they interest me. And this one really interests me, and I thought it was going to be like a really boring book because of how thick it is, even though it is a paperback. And it didn't take me that long. I mean, when I first started, it took me a while because there were so many characters to get through and to remember who was the King of England or the Prince of England and who was the Queen of France or whatever, and I just dropped the book. But, yeah, it was a really good book. You just have to remember, like, what characters go with what, type of person you're dealing with in the chapter. And, for these historical fictions, I don't think you really need to know a lot about the history of who they are or not. I mean, it's an historical fiction. Like, if you're reading this, the thing you're going to get a history lesson out of, even though you already know who Queen Mary Tudor was, or who the Edwards and Georges were, and, whatever in this book, because it might be wrong. And the second book, it might be wrong. I don't know. I don't know that much about, like, early European history to know, about it or not. But, yes, so that book, I don't really recommend it, but the first book that I do recommend, the second book I don't. The third book is the book, I don't know if I did a review on it or not, but I finished it. I know I showed it in one of my previous vlogs, but it's the V.C. Andrews book, and that's who I'm really into right now, and it's the Flowers in the Attic. It's a series of the Flowers in the Attic, the ones they did the movies on Lifetime, and they're making all the books into movies in this series. And this is the third one, and I'm reading the first one right now. Like, don't ask me why, but I am. And it's called If There Be Thorns, and this is what it looks like. This is the classical version of the book when it first came out. The ones that I have, the Petals on the Wind and the Flowers in the Attic, they're when the movie came out, but the books are still the same as this, not the movie version, if that makes any sense to you. But, yes, this is what it looks like. And I really like this book. It's the third in the series, and I found the other 3 at a different book sale they did a haul on in my previous video, so if you want to go check it out, just click on my channel, the channel button, and it'll take you right to them. And yeah, and it's not that long. This book also doesn't go in chapters. It just goes in, like, I mean, it goes in chapters, but the chapters aren't numbered. It's basically just names for chapters, which I really like, because what I do is when I get books and I look through the last chapters of the books, I always say, okay, like, if there's, like, 10 chapters in a book, I can either read 5 today, 5 tomorrow, and I'll be done with it. Or whatever, like, 2 every day, and then I have for just a week. But yeah, I finished this book, and it only took me a week to read. The second book I showed you took me 2 weeks to read, and the first book took me a week to read. And I don't know how many pages are in this book, so let me check. There is 374 pages in this book, and it's really small. It's a regular paperback, and it's really good. I mean, I like this series right now is really, really good. And I bought more of her books in different series in a flea market that I went to on the weekend. Last weekend? No, Wednesday. I keep getting my days confused. So I hope you guys enjoyed my little mini book review haul. If you want little mini book review, if you want to leave any recommendations for me to read from my next books, you can comment below. Like this video, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.